Welcome to the Webby O'Neill channel. Tell us who you want on Zoom. You know, we've got a few on who you've asked. We've asked a few people, but today it's a great pleasure to welcome on today's Class of 92 member, great lad, brilliant footballer, Ben Thornley. Good afternoon, Ben.
Hiya, Webby. How you doing, my friend?
I'm not bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. I'm sorry I'm a bit sweaty. I've just come back from a run, so I haven't had time to have a shower yet.
Hey,
but,
don't worry, pal. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. You're quite fortunate to be in the stadiums where I'm not, you know, I'm down to get him on. But
yeah.
What's the atmosphere around the squad like, Ben? Because obviously you're in and around them. What's it like?
To be honest, because of the situation, Webby, with the fact that different people are only entitled to go into different zones, you only ever sort of get to see the manager and one, maybe two of the players when they come out for interviews. Actually, as a squad, unlike before COVID, where I could congregate in the tunnel and I would see the lads coming out for the warm-up, etc. You don't get that. But I think that you can see over a period of time that the camaraderie in the squad, it's all been galvanised. I think everybody's come together, and it's no coincidence that has happened, and there's been an upturn in the results, and United are exactly where they are. And just speaking to Luke Shaw yesterday, speaking to the manager after the game, they're disappointed that they've gone to Anfield and not actually taken the 3 points, because towards the end of the game, there was only one team that looked the most likely to win it, and that was us. Yeah,
definitely. You know, it's come a long way. Like, if you look on social media and around everywhere, that it was a disappointment that we've not took the 3 points. And if you look at it, a year on the road in the Premier League, unbeaten, you know, you can't knock it. And like you're saying, one of those chances go in, we come away with the 3 points. And Liverpool, you know, they didn't really, one save the keeper had to made. So, you know, our defence, we look so comfortable, you know, and you just got in about Luke Shaw, absolutely superb at the moment, along with the rest of the back
immense
four.
Yesterday. Yeah, he was superb yesterday. And I think in the last 5 or 6 games, Webby, and I'm not suggesting that he hadn't shown it before then, but certainly in the last 5 or 6 games, I think Harry Maguire has definitely stepped up to the fore as a leader, with both the way that he organises and his performances. I think United set up yesterday to frustrate Liverpool. I thought they did that with ease. Every time Salah plays against Luke Shaw, I bet he has a sleepless night beforehand because he's never had a good game against him. I think there's been numerous things that have helped boost this squad and get them to where they are. And one of the things, apart from the obvious, like the introduction and the acquisition of Bruno, has been the acquisition of Alex Telles, because that has pushed Luke Shaw into a different stratosphere. And that's what you need when you're competing at the top level, Webber. You need that, sorry, it's my phone going off. You need that competition for places, you know what I mean, to spur you on. And we've got that at the moment in abundance. And I thought that as the game went on yesterday, we definitely looked the most likely and had the 2 best chances with Bruno and certainly with Paul Pogba.
Yeah, just basically the last bit now before the Liverpool game, you're spot on, you know. You look at Shaw's performances and, you know, and Tellers, he comes in, it looks like he's been there for years, you know. So for that competition now, 2 or 3 in different areas of the pitches, you know, it's only going to spur players on. Like with talk of Trippier coming, so that's only going to spur Wan Bissaka on to become a better player, knowing that if he doesn't perform, he's going out of the team.
Absolutely. And you need that all over the place. There's no way. I think, for me, that was the problem when we had Romelu Lukaku here. I think that he has probably got, and he's gone on and he's proved it, and he proved it before, and it didn't quite happen for him at Man United, because for me, even though he did score goals, he knew that he was going to play in that team because there wasn't anybody else to come in and take that position. And I just feel that he got a little bit too comfortable. I think if he'd have been spurred on, we would have seen a hell of a lot more from Romelu Lukaku. And he may still even have been here, Webber, you never know. But you do need those sorts of people chasing your coattails, because you can't get too comfortable. Sir Alex Ferguson never had it when he was here. There were players that, if they, you know, they were waiting in the wings, and he gave them their opportunity. And I feel that Ole Gunnar will do exactly the same.
Yeah, good. Basically, you're going to start talking about Wednesday night now. You know, Fulham down there at Craven Cottage by the river. You know, it's a great little ground. Obviously, I used to love my trips down there. But I wouldn't say fortunate, I've been lucky enough to see Fulham a couple of times since he had the COVID outbreak. And I've been very, very impressed with him, Ben. You know, they was unlucky against Liverpool. They played really well at Tottenham. And I think before the kid gets sent off against Chelsea, they was holding their own. So give us your take on Wednesday. I take it you're going to be going down there working.
I am, mate. Yeah, I will be there. And funnily enough, Webby, this is the Stuart Gardner, who does the commentary with me. It's one of his favourite grounds, if not the favourite ground. He loves going to Fulham. And I've not actually been there since I played there.
Right.
So I am actually looking forward to it because they're having this brand new stand built.
Yeah.
They're going to have a swimming pool on the top, apparently. It's going to be really smart. So I'm looking forward to going down there. But yeah, they have, again, a little bit like West Brom, you know, they've had a bit of an upturn. I know they're still down there. I know they're still going to be battling out there at the end of the season. But they were unlucky against Spurs, and I totally agree with you. Up until the point where the lad Robinson gets sent off, and let's have it right, it was a red card. I don't think anybody can argue that it was a reckless challenge. But up until that point, he looked as though he was probably their best player. He was rampaging down that left-hand side, but you know they'll try and play some nice stuff. They brought the boy Lookman back in from Germany, I think it was. He was at Leipzig. And Scott Parker, you know, he's a wily fox. He's played in the Premier League a long time. He realises that he's got players there that he perhaps he wouldn't take in the Premier League, but he's inherited them. Yeah. And you know what? He's actually doing the best that he possibly can with Fulham. And the fact that they're down there, I can see another Sheffield United game. You know, where we will win it, but it'll be very, very tight. Yeah,
looking, they've got, obviously, we mentioned about the kid Robinson at Wigan, who nearly joined. He was at AC Milan last year. Fell through. Looks decent. Obviously, he's not been able to play. They've got the kid Reed out suspended. You know, who seems to be an integral part of their squad. I'm seeing this as a very difficult game, as you said, Ben. You know, we've got to be on our mark from the word go. And we will win the game, but if we're not, we could come into problems. But looking at it, I'm looking at the team, and obviously with the Liverpool game, I think Cavani's got to start, Ben.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you. And I think maybe on Wednesday night, he might be tempted to tinker with it a little bit, and maybe we might get Donny van der Beek starting as well. I think he needs to be given a decent run in the team. But the problem is, Webby, at the moment, with the team having performed so well, with him not being in it from the start, it's very, very difficult to be able to do that straight away. But I do believe that he is a very, very good player and will fit the United way.
Yeah, we were speaking before we come on, Ben, about obviously we're overloaded in midfield, and I think any other time we'd normally have a few injuries, a few suspensions. And Van der Beek would have got his game time by now. Obviously, we all know what he can do. We've seen that before with Ajax. We've seen what he could do when he's played for us. If he bided his time, but I just think at the Liverpool game, I just think for me he would have been good to play because he keeps the ball. We give the ball away too much, you know. And I think at Fulham it's a tight pitch. I think we've got to be close because they're going to be in our face. It's their biggest game of the season. Fulham, forget about Chelsea, the local derby, or Spurs coming to town. It's Manchester United, so we've got to be up for it. I'd love to see Van der Beek and Cavani both start. Maybe the latter for the cup game on the Sunday against Liverpool, but I think he'll make changes. I think Matic might come in as well.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think he might even put Eric Bailly back in because I think of all the players yesterday, and I'm not taking anything away from the way Victor Lindelof played because I thought to come into a game like that, having not played for 3 or 4 days, I thought he was excellent. But that doesn't detract from the fact that Eric Bailly must have been bitterly disappointed after his performances not to be included. So I'm sure that he might be a starter at Fulham as well. But I agree with you. It is a tight pitch. They will get in our faces, and it is important. What we don't want to do is come unstuck after doing so well. And we have done well against the teams at the bottom end of the league. Yeah. Where last season we weren't doing. That's where we were slipping up. But it's the top teams now that we haven't beaten yet, Webby. and we need in the second half of the season to maybe take 4 out of 6 wins against the teams at the top of the league, because we haven't beaten a one of them yet, and that will become apparent towards the end of the season.
Just basically, obviously, going off the Fulham game now, I'm just going to quickly go on about transfers, and we've just seen this morning that it looks like Jesse could be leaving the club on loan. There's talk of him going to France, and then there's also talk of him going to Sheffield United. I thought first 60 minutes, the cup game against Watford, I was so impressed with him. You know, and he will do a good job for someone, you know, and people keep forgetting he's 28 now. But what's your take on Jesse? Do you think his time's up, or he goes on loan and comes back and gives it another go?
No, I probably think personally for Jesse that he's spent so much time now sort of outside of the team that I don't think that's ever going to improve going forward. I think the best thing for him to do, maybe in the interim for the remainder of the season, is to go on loan. But if I was Jesse, looking at the position that he's in, I would probably think, let's go and have a fresh start somewhere. I think even he knows he's never going to be a certain starter at Manchester United. Maybe not even in the first sort of 17, 18 players. So best thing for him to do is to go and you know, you're right, when he played against Watford, his energy was really apparent. For somebody who'd not played for a while, I thought his fitness was incredible. I really did. And that is going to be a huge asset to him going forward. He doesn't carry any weight anyway. So he looks very sprightly on a football field. But for somebody who's not played for a while, I was very, very impressed. And you're right, he will do a really good job. But I just think for me, it would be better for him to just go and have a fresh start. And he's got another 7 or 8 years of a football career in front of him if he's only 28.
Yeah. Do you see anybody else leaving, or do you see? I don't see anyone coming in, but do you see anybody else maybe leaving the club on loan?
Well, I think Tim Fosu-Mensah's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's left. Yeah,
he's gone. I think you're talking about maybe Sergio Romero, looking at Marcus Rojo. I don't know what the situation is with Phil Jones. I'm not so sure whether anybody else is going to go in this window. Maybe at the end of the season, Juan Mata might decide that he wants to try something different, because I think he's only got another year left, hasn't he? Or it might be a roller. I'm not too sure. It all depends on conversations the manager has with different players and who is earmarked of players that he wants to come in. That might mean that certain players will be surplus to requirements come the summer.
Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Anytime, Webby.
Spending some time with us. Hopefully we'll see you back down there at the ground and we can have a chat like the good old days. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Ben. You take care and bring us 3 points back tomorrow from Fulham.
Top man. Cheers, Webby. All the best. Take care.
Cheers, Ben. Just before we leave as well, what a big shout out to a big United fan who's having a big operation. He's well known throughout the world. Great lad, Eddie Beef. So we're all thinking you, Eddie, saying our prayers for you. Hopefully you'll pull through, mate, because this place won't be the same without you, mate. Team news, obviously, get us on Instagram an hour before kick-off with the O'Neill mob. It's quite fun. It'll pass the time before the game starts, and come back and see him live on YouTube at full time. So that's me, folks. Have a great day. And remember, we're still top of the league, so we'll keep it going. And thanks again, Ben.
Welcome, guys. See you later.
Cheers,
Cheers,
Ben.
Webby.
Ta-da, pal. Ta-da, mate.